Thanks for stopping, man. Just had the damn thing rebuilt.
Come on. Is that all you got? All you can handle.
Told my wife I'd be home by 11. The fewer questions she asked, the better. Know what I mean?
Oh, come on, that can't be all you got.
That's all I got.
That's enough.
Three victims in the last 2 months. White males between 29 and 46. Bodies were found next to their disabled vehicles.
Yeah, I saw the file. I like the sound of your voice. Each victim shot at close range so as to obliterate their gender apparatus.
Professionally pleasant.
You expect me to blush and giggle?
These men suffered an excruciating death.
I have no intention of blowing myself to high school humor. That's why we have John.
It's morning sickness. It's either this or I throw up in your shoe.
They say you're no tired. That's what they say. They say if anyone can look at a stretch of dirt and determine the kind of tire that ran over it, it's Purvis Cobb.
Sometimes the tracks speak to me, sometimes they don't.
Would you describe these as especially blabby?
McDougal Bias 12-ply off-road competition mounted on a half-ton pickup. Nitro-charged shocks based on the tread depth. Offset camber. Alignments 4 degrees towed in, outside scallop. These are underinflated by at least 6 pounds. Bad karma, man.
Right.
You take care of your tires will take care of you.
Right.
George, it's me. I need a background check.
Okay, I'm just blocks away from the office. I had to take Richard to the airport. Traffic was brutal. How's the flight?
Grace vomited twice.
Ah, sorry I messed up.
Latest victim's name is Herbert Gelder. There's an email on your machine from the locals. See if you can establish commonality with the previous victims.
Okay, I'll give you a call as soon as I run it through. Bye.
As I'm clearing the table, Morgan accuses me of orchestrating the pregnancy as a form of emotional ensnarement.
Use those exact words?
Uh-huh. The table got cleared real fast.
Rest assured, I have no preconceived prejudice regarding an individual's sexual preference.
You think these are crimes against gays? There's nothing in your chief's report to indicate that. All three victims were married, had families.
I suspect they were closeted. Some confused individual, perhaps struggling with latent tendencies of his own, discovered their orientation and determined it was necessary to remove the irritation.
Sweet Wills. If the owner had seen this, would have killed him.
The victim's wife was surprised he was found in this part of town. He told her he was playing poker at the Elks.
Obviously not a carjacking or a robbery.
Isn't it more likely the killer was a jealous boyfriend or husband? And let's just say he follows his woman, or woman he thinks is his. Finds her trolling for prospects. She finds one, or maybe in this case, 3. He doesn't want to confront her directly because he's afraid that if he does, that he would end the relationship forever. So he kills her lovers. The method he uses is, for him, poetic justice.
Killer might have been driving a half-ton pickup.
Well, in a Midwest factory town, which probably narrows down our pool of suspects to nearly everyone.
Not everyone has McDougal bias 12 plies, bad alignment, nitro-charged shocks.
Now, the cars all driven by the victims had their fuel lines cinched with magnesium wire. It's impossible to get a print.
He's able to cause malfunctions which appear to be serendipitous, but which are, in fact, premeditation.
You think?
We've established a roadblock of the intersecting thoroughfares in an effort to gather intelligence.
We're looking for an eyewitness.
To that end, we've focused our investigative efforts on automotive aftermarket outlets, retail and redistribution centers, wholesalers, jobbers, and the technicians.
A technician wouldn't let his truck turn to crap.
He might. Shoemaker's children go barefoot.
Promised my wife I'd pick up some cash from the ATM. Hey! Who the hell are you? What are you doing?
I'll fix you a sandwich now.
I already ate.
It'll just take a minute.
Babe, I gotta go.
You're not leaving me. I made some chicken salad.
Chicken salad will be fine.
That's the only thing I can find so far to link the 3 victims.
The bowling league, 3 winters ago.
Well, NCIC owes me a history on number 2, but so far, yep.
Well, there's one obvious thing that links them together, her. Can we tell if the bullet hole was a ricochet or direct hit?
Cursory examination indicates the latter.
A beautiful car, an ideal. He could be trying to destroy the image of, I don't know, his idealized woman.
If you go for the sleep with anything in pants type.
Not to be confused with the sleep with anything in skirts type. We know that each of the victims had sex before the murders.
And believe cleanliness is next to godliness. I picked up trace elements of ammonium lauryl sulfate around the groin, what was left of it. It's a glycerin-based soap found in specialty shops.
I'll deploy a team to acquire sales transaction records.
And I'll see if I can light a fire under my source at NCIC.
George, you all right?
Yeah, I just had a little car accident on the way in this morning. Just a little fender bender. Nobody was hurt. It's nothing.
Doesn't sound like nothing. Maybe you should see a doctor.
Yeah, he'll just give me painkillers, won't I? I won't take them. I hate being fuzzy-headed. Okay, I'll send the rest of the background to you ASAP. Bye.
Thanks, Georgie. The victims were all married men. Chances are they'd attempt to hide the infidelity before they went home.
She obviously has no trouble finding a lover. Maybe the killer is infatuated by that attraction. Turned on and angered by her allure over other men.
You're suggesting the killer prefers females of questionable virtue.
That's what she said, Al. How big a sex industry do you have in town? Hookers, strip joints?
It isn't something we emphasize at the Chamber of Commerce.
Whether or not she's a professional sex worker, he's triggered by the idea that other men want her.
So he's a lovesick mope who mistakes affections by the hour for real emotion.
Thinking that a $50 roll in the hay links them together forever makes her his. The need to destroy or deface could be rooted in a sense that he feels the victims have trespassed on his property.
So he's obviously not trying to win her over.
The destruction is to satisfy something in him.
Andrew Gilka, found in the weeds about 30 yards from his disabled car. Shot 4 times in the groin at close range, once in the back.
He was trying to get away.
I'm surprised he made it as far as he did.
The other victims faced their killer. Maybe the killer didn't pose an initial threat. This guy resisted even in the face of a gun. He's more formidable than the others. The victims are getting bigger and bigger. I mean, in overall size. Maybe the killer is a small man. He uses a gun to control the encounter. He lectures them on their infidelities. He might even make them deny their sexual encounters, affirming he's the only man in her life.
Well, denial's a beautiful thing. You live by the sword, you die by the sword.
Maybe by destroying their masculinity, he feels like he's undoing the affair, restoring her virtue.
A girl to die for, who either never reads the paper or kind of likes the way things are going. Maybe she's onto something.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll find out who she is. John and Barker are checking out the bars along the route he took that night.
Yeah, he was here last night. Big guy, arms like a tree trunk. He bought a couple of lap dances.
Big tipper?
Not as big as his lap. To think I left Vancouver for this.
Can't beat those deep-pocketed lumberjacks.
Of course, when you factor in the current rate of exchange, your effective buying power is actually greater.
If you don't start speaking English, I'm gonna shoot you.
Can you do that?
I believe clarity is essential to the recovery of information. To tell you the truth, I was hoping my resume could land on Agent Malone's desk. I believe my contributions to the Bureau could be significant, to say nothing of my desire to find myself a member of the Violent Crimes Task Force.
Is that what VCTF stands for? Was he with a woman?
Not at first. Then this mousy little dishwater blonde was working the bar. She was letting guys buy her drinks, and he walked in and she was all over him. Guess she likes him big.
Did you get a name?
I think he called her Lee.
Ever see Lee in here before?
No.
Our lady in pink, Stephanie.
That's me. Gotta go.
Thanks for your help. If you think of anything else, you are a team player, Al.
Yeah, hi, this is George Fraley. I'm a regular patient of Dr. London's. Hi, how are you? Well, I got in a little car accident yesterday, and now I'm experiencing some pain in my left hip. I was wondering, is it possible to get in to see him today? Not until Thursday. Okay, I would like to schedule that. Listen, Jeffrey knows me pretty well. Do you think maybe you could ask him to phone in a prescription for me? Just, something to get me through the next few days until Thursday. Thank you. Okay, so I'll wait to hear from you. Thanks. I appreciate it. Bye.
McDougal bias 12-ply scalloped on the outside of the tread. Barker's vehicular recon of the intersecting thoroughfares produced a possible ID, George Wick DMV registration. We got known with priors. Roy Atkins.
Shut up! Shut up, you mangy! What can I do for you?
Is Roy Atkins here?
Why? What'd he do now?
Who the hell are these people?
Your truck? What you got those tires running on? About 26 pounds per square inch?
Was that a crime now?
No. But murder still is. We need to ask you a few questions.
Oh, I'm busy.
Get unbusy.
Go inside.
No, I want to hear what he has to say.
I said go back inside and get to work.
You always talk to your employees like that?
She's my wife.
Something you want to tell us you don't want her to hear. Your truck was spotted in the vicinity of a murder off Route 57 last night.
I wasn't there. Got a witness says you were. Got your tire tracks at the scene.
You must be hard of hearing. I said I wasn't there. Now, unless you got a warrant for my arrest or you want a quote on some auto repair, get the hell off my property.
You're making this way too easy, Roy. Assaulting a federal officer.
You call that assault?
Resisting arrest.
Now, this is resisting
Keep coming.
arrest. Let go of me! Let go!
You had a drink at a strip club along Route 57 a little before 7:30 last night.
I had a lap dance, too. Should I call a lawyer?
Then a drink at Tanner's, one at the grill. What were you doing, Roy? You following someone?
Wasn't following anybody. If I wanted to kill someone, I wouldn't need a gun either.
Were you following Lee?
Don't know any Lee.
Trying to find out who she was with?
What do I care who she was with? Some woman you think I know.
Makes you crazy, doesn't it? Thinking about her with other men. Doing those things she does for you to another man. Bartender said you were steaming over something. Cheating girlfriend, how women can't be trusted. It's kind of an odd thing coming from you. What we hear is you're not exactly the poster boy for fidelity.
It's different for men.
God, I didn't know they still made men like that.
In this part of the country, they grow like weeds.
You like to let people know how tough you are, don't you, Roy?
I'd like to let you know.
I'd like to give you the chance.
Yeah, you and about 10 of your cop buddies.
But Ohio State Correctional has first crack at you.
You can't hold me.
He seems less concerned with protecting himself than with starting a fight.
Protecting himself?
That's the sense I'm getting. Obsessive personalities need to feel in control. This guy, he's incorrigible. He can't control his anger. Whoever killed those men had to suspend his anger long enough to conceive a plan, act it out carefully, step by step. This guy, he would kill on sight. Someone wouldn't even have a chance to cheat.
Thanks. Had Barker's men check their files, pull any Lees that fit the agent general profile. Thank God women with dishwater blonde hair named Lee aren't very common in these parts.
Both with arrests?
One for solicitation, one for solicitation and possession of a controlled substance, crack. Maybe she's exchanging sex for drugs.
None of the victims had any history of drug use. Lee Armstrong, solicitation and public assistance for most of her adult life. Spotty employment.
That way she gets to maintain her amateur status.
Someone who needs protecting. This might not be so much about jealousy as it is the need to protect her from something.
Protect her from what? Multiple lovers? Maybe she should try staying at home nights, watch a little must-see TV.
Let's see if she knows him.
Hey, this chicken salad's great. You got any piccalilli or chow chow? I don't suppose you'd give me the recipe. You expecting somebody? Oh, sweet mother.
Lee Armstrong here?
She's taking a bath.
And you're here to dry her back.
Look, I just met her. I don't know anything. I got a wife and kids.
Then I'd put on my pants and get home to him, Buck. Lee, this is the FBI. We've got something to talk about.
Witness said you were with Andrew Gilka the night he died. Picked him up at Gibby's.
He bought me a few drinks, that's all.
Then you took him back to your place. Had sex with him.
It wasn't for money.
I don't care why. I care that he turned up dead 3 hours later by a man we believe is stalking you. Maybe one of your tricks got weird on you. Kept calling you, following you, smacked you around for working the bars.
I told you. I'm not a whore. He doesn't like when you look at other men. He won't tolerate you being with another man. You're his woman. His property.
You recognize any of these men?
You know him?
I did it.
Did what?
I killed those men. I got tired of it, that's all. Same thing over and over. You sleep with a guy and then they don't want anything to do with you. I've known that since I was 12.
12.
Not that it's done me much good.
But Roy was different?
No. Well, maybe at first, but not for long. Pretty soon it was the same thing. Said he loved me. Said he was gonna leave his wife. Stupid of me, huh?
You wanted to make him jealous?
It's easy to make a man want you. But getting him to stay... Guess I haven't figured that part out yet. I know I shouldn't have taken it out on those men. Not that they didn't deserve it. Cheating on their wives. The only good man I ever knew was my daddy.
You'll have to produce the gun.
I threw it in the river.
Where?
Off the Lexington Bridge. I'm glad it's over.
Lie detector seems superfluous.
She'd pass it whether she pulled the trigger or not.
Or not. She said she killed them. Why would she take that on?
She feels responsible. Why would she throw that gun away? If that was the instrument that helped her gain revenge against men, why would she suddenly decide after 4 victims that she'd call it quits?
Your sense of protection. You think she's protecting him?
She would if she loves him. Going to jail for Roy would not only protect him, but it would also give her the punishment she feels she deserves. I want to see where she lives.
Her stepfather was jailed twice for physical abuse. I culled through social services, public mental health records. Paints a pretty brutal picture. Her father died in prison when Lee was 2. Mother was a junkie, in and out of jail, and halfway houses. She OD'd when Lee was 8. whereupon the stepfather got custody.
The only father she ever knew.
Yeah, he was no picnic. He was an alcoholic. He would lock her in a room when he went on a binge, which was sometimes for days, and he died in '93.
She became sexually active when she was 12. Her daddy was the only good man she knew. Sounds to me like her relationship with daddy started a pattern of abuse that she came to accept as normal. That's why she feels obligated to protect his memory. That's why she has the photo, but why it's not framed.
Conflict that's carried through all her relationships with men. Looking for the next abuser, becoming his property.
It's a lifelong cycle, Bailey. The protection of abusive men, that's what she's doing with Roy.
We're not going to shake a loose from a confession.
I'll get more to you later. I'm not done tapping my sources.
How's the hip, Georgie?
Oh, pain's gone. Thanks. Told you it was just a bump. Bye.
Roy Atkins was just released. The combination of Ms. Armstrong's confession plus the circumstantial nature of the evidence against Mr. Atkins left me no choice but to release him into his own recognizance.
You let him go.
I've deployed units to perform visual reconnaissance of his residence at regular intervals.
Drive-bys.
Exactly.
Make sure they follow through. Any news on the gun?
Divers are in the water, but the current's moving pretty fast. Nothing's turned up yet.
I'll look over whatever else George can dig up tonight, and then I'll go another round with Lee in the morning. If I can get the truth out of her, maybe I can get her to let go of her need to protect Roy.
Background on the victims?
I know you're an exceptionally busy woman, but with your permission, my dossier in total.
You looking for a job?
Not a job, Dr. Alvarez. A lifetime commitment. I was hoping you could use your considerable charm and influence to see if Agent Malone might take a moment to review my qualifications. Secondarily, but of no less importance, I was hoping we could discuss career paths over a bowl of Skyline chili and a frosty cold microbrew. I thought you might prefer something indigenous to our city over the fine cuisine you're no doubt used to from other suitors.
Are you inviting me to dinner?
I noticed you weren't wearing a ring.
Oh, I am flattered. I am also pregnant and married. At least I was when I left Atlanta. But I would be very happy to pass your file on to Bailey. Thanks anyway.
I have looked into the eyes of death and lived to tell the tale. It was touch and go there for a minute. Me and the feds.
Cops were there?
Oh, yeah. This little guy in a nice suit was in way over his head, but I had to pull him out before he got his head blown off.
Well, then you're one lucky cowboy.
Well, if I were you, I'd just scooch over here just a little bit closer, see if some of that luck might rub off on you.
You're not that lucky.
Still rolling sevens. I think my fuel line's clogged. You mind giving me a ride?
What the hell do you want?
Lose something?
Yeah, check all the closet. Need a female on scene.
That's not my gun. You planted it there. Bitch made a deal with you to get her ass out of prison. Been trying to bust up my marriage since day one.
It's all clear. Tommy handling it? Yeah. That's how unit down here.
What are you doing here?
Where do you think you're going?
I was just...
Roy's been arrested.
I didn't have nothing to do with that.
We've been through a lot, honey, but we finally got rid of them all. It's not that early. Bailey. Bailey, it's me. Are you up? Bailey.
Don't you ever sleep.
I'm all jammed up here, Bailey. I need your help.
We've got a 7 a.m. flight.
Maybe not.
Roy Atkins is in custody.
Roy Atkins is not capable of loving someone enough to kill for them.
What he cares about his ego. Lee sleeping around isn't something he could live with.
But to kill for her? Over and over again? It feels like the repetition of the killings is more of a need.
Repetition. Going from man to man to man.
But not out of desire. It's almost a painful experience that the killer is going through. It's unrequited feelings. Disappointment.
The killer's repeated attempts to win her affections.
Or at least stop the affections of someone else.
Obsession.
Roy Atkins isn't capable of an obsession. And Lee would never consider herself worthy of those feelings, even if he was. She would never confess to protect him. But she would confess to get away from someone who did.
He's someone else.
Someone that she's more afraid of than Roy. Get out.
What?
I gotta get dressed. Get out.
Yeah.
What do you want? I thought you might want this back.
I don't.
Who are you afraid of, Lee?
Leave me alone.
You're willing to go to prison to get away from someone. Lee! You can close the door on me, but you're not gonna stop whoever it is. You're right to be afraid. Whoever it is that cares about you this much has killed for you, and sooner or later they're gonna turn on you, Lee.
Late. Where the hell have you been? I was thinking. Thinking? I need to get out of here. I can't just leave like that. There's things to settle. I'm going alone. You're leaving without me? Not until you tell me why. Those things you do, they scare me.
These men deserved what they got. Roy's going to the chair for those murders, and he deserves it to the bastard.
Roy didn't do it.
The night I found out you slept with Roy, I went to your place to kill you.
And I realized how hurt you'd been. How you'd been victimized by men your whole life, and I knew I couldn't turn my back on you. Maybe I shouldn't have been so weak with those men. But you shouldn't have done what you did. You don't have to worry about that anymore. Any cheating bastard lays a hand on you will get what they got.
What's the matter?
Don't. You scare me.
Why do you keep saying that?
Touch me! Why? No.
You bitch! I'll kill you!
She's been made. Move in now. FBI, let her go! Let her go!
Lee, how could you do this? An officer will take your statement and drive you home.
Not even a thank you.
She didn't do it for us. She saw an opportunity to get out of something and she took it. She spent her whole life pushing people away. That's how she copes. I'm not gonna change it. I'm just trying to respect it.
She's got Bobby's room. She loves a gift. I told him that. Yeah, she's got it.
Thought I'd never see you again. I'm sorry, Lee. I shouldn't have tried to hurt you. But I felt so betrayed. I only came to see you because you asked me to. You sounded upset on the phone. Upset? I'm never gonna see you again. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna just leave town? Disappear? Like I don't even exist? Why would I leave town? What about all our plans? We don't have any plans. All we talked about. How we were gonna help other women. Our promise to always be there for each other. I kept my end of the deal. I never asked you to. I know you didn't ask. You didn't have to ask, honey. I couldn't let you keep doing that to yourself, letting men hurt and abuse you. You've got to stop all that. You've got to start standing up for yourself and stop being so weak. Look, if seeing me's going to upset you... No, please, don't go, please. I did it for you, honey. Do you think I would have done that to those men if they hadn't taken advantage of you? If they hadn't done to you what men have been doing to us our whole lives? I have to go. Please. Stay. I'll come back. No, you won't. I'll never see you again. Lee!